Welcome to the Pappy Chronicles. I don't have the Uber app. I drink my bourbon straight. I despise the term Airbnb, and I kind of hate podcasts. So let's get this show on the road. I think we're good.
Okay.
All right, everybody, back for another episode with the grumpy old guy. And for everybody listening, the people that watch us on social media probably think we've known each other for 20 years.
Probably.
I mean, even though that's almost as long as you've been alive.
A little bit more added on now, but...
But yeah, I'm figuring they assume we know each other, like, for a lot of years, and that's just not the case. We really don't know that much about each other. I mean, for those of you that know me, I imprint like a werewolf when I find somebody that I just kind of believe in instantly, and that's what happened with poor Reggie here.
It did. Oh, boy.
So, the first thing I gotta ask, did you always know that the camera was going to be where it was at? Like, how old were you when you figured that out?
You've
been doing this for a long time now, right?
Yeah, so 8 years professionally. And then, yeah.
So you were in junior high? Like...
No. So early 20s, I guess. I always knew I wanted to start a business. And prior to that, I always had a camera in my hand when I was little. So my grandpa was like, here, I got you a camera. And I said, okay. So I started taking pictures with it, and every time he put me in front of the camera, I just got ticked. I was like, I just want to be behind it. So then, I guess down the road, I wanted to start a business, and I went with the outfitters and traveled around with them and loved hunting and fishing from the get-go. So kind of,
Hang on.
No, you're good.
All right. Technical difficulties averted. Where were we there? Grandpa bought you a camera.
Yeah, Grandpa bought me a camera.
And you don't like being in front of it.
I hate being in front of it half the time.
Well, now how does that work though? I mean, all the guide services and stuff you go with, you're always creating content.
Mm-hmm.
You're in front of the camera a lot. Is that just other people catching you and being like, haha, we got you?
Sometimes, yeah. It's when I'm working with outfitters, I maybe get a couple of pictures with me in front of the camera here and there with outfitters, but not 98% of their content is completely just everything that they do.
Well, then you do a great job getting your own content because I see a lot of stuff where you're dancing around and goofing off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of like things that shouldn't be recorded but are recorded.
So you're like, okay, I don't want this to go out there as content, but this is my content.
Yeah, this is me. Like, but definitely some of it's caught off guard, and then some of it I'm just like, okay, I'm kind of getting used to being in front of a camera a little bit more the last probably 4 years than ever. So I've gotten more comfortable with that, and I just kind of tell someone, and I'm just like, hey, can you just take a picture of me quick? And they take a picture. I'm like, well, it's okay, but we'll do it.
So out of 8 years, how long has it been hunting-based stuff? I mean, I know you do a lot of personal shoots, wedding shoots, stuff like that, but how long? When did the hunting thing come into it?
8 years. So I actually started
at the beginning, that's where you started.
Yes, that's where I started initially, was the hunting and the fishing aspect of it. The outfitter were hunters and charters.
So how's that happen? Like, because most kids, that's not where they're at all the time. That's not the environment they're in. Where's the connection? Where's the connector to the hunting industry? Was there already somebody in the family that is part of that industry, or did you just go, this is where I want to be? I want to be outside and doing what these people are doing.
Pretty much, I just kind of got a camera and I just picked it up and said, well, in order to be successful and bigger is usually content. So I started making a portfolio for myself, and in the beginning I didn't have anybody in the family that filmed, didn't have any friends that filmed, nothing. So I just said, all right, well, I'm going to learn from scratch. And
you picked the hunting industry.
Yes, yeah. So right off the bat, and
nothing like shooting for the hardest shit there is. Like nothing stays still.
No,
in that industry. I mean, everything's moving, and it's all got way better senses than we do.
Yeah. So I didn't really want to do the TV aspect of it from the get-go. I kind of wanted to more do the social aspect of it, where I could be able to create portfolios for outfitters to be able to spread and share that content on their portfolios and websites.
Okay.
So that was my goal. I love the TV, but it's a lot of work, as you know.
Yeah, and I'm not nearly as good at it as she is. You put my stuff up against the stuff she films and shoots, okay, let's go back. Don't put my stuff up against the stuff that she films and shoots, because you're going to realize what a hack I really am.
Oh my God. He's great. Don't listen to him.
Yeah, it's, I mean, I need some camera pointers, honestly. I really do. I really do, because I follow your content, and it's a bar. Like, I watch that, and I'm like, okay, that's what I need to be doing. That's what I need to be doing. Because our stuff doesn't measure up to that. But, I mean, I think that's kind of our demographic, too.
Yes.
Like, we are anybody can grab a $100 camera and go out and do what we do, really, if they have the drive to do it.
Yes.
It's not a matter of equipment or the level of videography you're putting out there, if you're willing to get the content and pass on stuff when you really want to shoot, or grab the camera first instead of grabbing your bow. Mm-hmm. That's way more important than the camera you're using when it comes to a hunting show like ours. Now, the stuff you film for is the stuff that makes it into like film festival type stuff. Like, that's the stuff I watch at Badlands. Is okay. What I think about when I see your stuff. Is because it's all really, like, I mean, just the color pops different, because it's all DSLR stuff, you know.
Yeah, all mirrorless, actually. So I don't run DSLR.
Oh, really?
Yes.
See, I don't even know what the difference is. That's how tuned into this whole videography thing I am. I have no clue what she just said. Explain.
So mirrorless is kind of a way, I wouldn't say a cheating way, because you always have an eye for photography and videography no matter what. But it's a little bit easier for you to be able to vision what you're going to see through the lens instead of a DSLR. You're kind of toggling with the ISO and the aperture a lot more.
Right.
So when you look through a mirrorless, it kind of already gives you that color grade and envisions what you're going to see already coming to when you do the post-production and editing. So
that's another thing I don't do. I mean, I edit.
You do edit.
I cut clips and I do transitions and stuff like that, but as far as like the stuff you're talking about, and you know, I've talked to Dean and Dave over at Tag and Brag about this. They'll do like color enhancement and making things a little more crisp, and I don't do that, because I don't have that skill set when it comes to editing, and I never have taken the time to learn that much of it. I get it. I cut them up, transition them, I drop music in, try and time stuff up to where it leaves them hanging at a commercial. That's about it. Like, this was, I mean, I didn't go to school for any of this stuff. When I started this page, I was driving a trash truck.
Oh, okay. No, I did not know that.
I went to school for AutoCAD, like for computer-aided drafting stuff, engineering, right here in good old Bowling Green. I basically racked up about a $36,000 bar tab over 4 years of going to school part-time. And luckily, when I got out, there was a lot of CAD work, but man, I could feel a cubicle just killing my soul every single day. It was horrible.
Oh, it is.
It's horrible. And so I learned other stuff. I learned how to drive a truck. I've had a CDL since I was probably your age.
Okay.
I was about 25, 26. And drove a semi for about 6 months, 3 weeks, 2 days, 7 hours, 6 minutes. That was one of the worst jobs I ever had. Just because I don't like being away from home for that long of a stretch. You know, especially then, my kids were really young. And that went into, I just kept my CDL as a safety net, tried other stuff. Road work, carpentry. Carpentry was a great thing. Carpentry taught me a lot. And I had one of the best bosses I've ever had in my entire life. Probably the best boss I ever had when I worked at Display. That's where I made the stuff that made this bar, and, you know, a lot of bigger stuff. If any of you have ever driven down I-75 and that big Jesus that's down there, we did that.
Oh, I didn't know.
The second one.
Okay.
After the first one got struck by lightning because Solid Rock Church does cocaine. That's what happens when you mess with God. He's going to burn your statue to the damn ground. So we built them another one, and this one's holding up. So maybe they got a new pastor. I don't know what happened there, but this one's held up. And that was a lot of fun. But the last year I was there, my boss, and this is no bullshit, I counted up the days. He gave me 9 weeks vacation, and I got paid for all of it. Like, he gave me 9 weeks worth of time off because I was trying to take the show to the next level.
Yes.
You know, I was already in about year 3 or 4 of the show, and I couldn't have done it without him. I mean, the trips that I got to take because of him, that was something. But that place kind of closed up, and somewhere along the line at the beginning, I was driving that trash truck, and I remember sitting there just every morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, tears just welling up every single morning. It's horrible, horrible. But I had to make, something.
Yeah.
I had to make a living. And so I started teaching myself how to edit. And luckily it was drag and drop stuff like AutoCAD. So I learned the basics. But the stuff you guys do with retouching and things, and I mean, you like make videos come way more alive than I've ever been able to do. And I love watching it. I love seeing people that know what they're doing with that kind of stuff because it adds so much dimension. I mean, I don't know how to explain it other than dimension because the color hits different and there's a depth to the whole thing that's just not there with the stuff that we film. And it is there. I just don't know how to make it where they see it. And so it's a gift. You guys that can do that and edit that way. It's amazing. It's really amazing.
And now too, they have the cameras where you don't even need to do the C-Log, S-Log, and I don't know if you know about that with the mirrorless. So
You're speaking Chinese to me. Right
okay. So with what they do with the color grading is what you're talking about, how the editing goes into a much higher level with that. So even if you don't use the S-Log and the C-Log, and you can go ahead and just use it without that. So say you use the DSLR and it has the regular colorations to it. The regular colorations within a mirrorless is just so vibrant and beautiful that half of the time you don't even need to do that if you're not even wanting to edit to a higher level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you pick up a mirrorless camera and you go to the store and get an A6500 or A7R3, just the coloration on that is beautiful, and it's just you don't have to really worry about too much of the color grading on it, but it still looks phenomenal.
Well, that's like the difference between what's filming you right now and what's filming me. Behave. It's growling at us again.
That's okay.
Hang on a second. Okay. Eventually, I'm going to get this ironed out to where this thing doesn't yell at us every 20 minutes for no damn reason. But we're back with what we need to be talking about here. Yeah, the difference between what's recording you and what's recording me is amazing to me. Just from the G40 to that 70D, the color, I try and record as much as I can on my episodes with that. Because the color, like you said, is just, it automatically does it. It's just, it pops more. That's a little, I mean, you can see it on the screen. It's just
a little bit more
It's a little
flat.
faded. It's just flat, yeah. And you look at that, it's, well, that's fat.
Oh my god, stop it.
But yeah, it's in the works, so we're going to try and upgrade to that. But when I do, I need you to help me pick a camera out because half of what you said with rattling off letters and numbers and C-logs and S-log, I don't even know what that is. I have no clue what you meant by C-log or S-log.
Okay, well, I will definitely call me up and we'll
When you
figure it
yelled at
out.
me last time because I handed you that, and I'm like, show me what I need to be doing. You're like, I don't even know what to do with this Canon piece of shit. You're like, what'd you tell me to get? What are you running?
A Sony.
Okay, yeah. She told me to get a different damn camera. So
For video, yes, I would say that. But I will say Canon photos are phenomenal, so I do like that.
yeah, I need to get, and the problem is that you spend twice as much on the damn lens as you do the camera.
Oh, yeah.
I need to get something with the zoom capabilities of the G40 in a DSLR or a mirrorless so that I can film from the blind or from the stand and get that DSLR footage or that mirrorless footage for my kill shots and for, the majority of the footage instead of running what I'm running.
Yeah.
But,
Takes time.
I'll address that in the next email to my sponsors. This is why your bill's going to go up. But you didn't get any more watching the show. It'll come.
It will come. Better content. Remember, better
Yeah.
content brings in more people.
Unfortunately, that hustle's left on this end of the deal. They pay when it's already there. So, Grandpa bought you the camera. You've been doing this 8 years. What's the rest of the plan? Where are you going?
I'm still kind of figuring that out. So I do want to continue, but obviously now going into almost being 30, it's being up until 4 a.m. sometimes is just crazy on my
Did anybody
body.
else get pissed off instantly with how she said almost being 30?
You can tell though, like I got issues on my back now, and I'm just sitting here and I'm filming at 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm just like, I can't do this anymore.
I don't want to hear it.
No, I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. But I know that, when you're 50s and you're in your 60s and you're thinking, I'm still filming at this point. Do I really want to keep on filming, or do I want to have my team? Do I want to have a team at that point, or do I just want to kind of not do it as rough and tough as you do it now? I kind of have been thinking about doing a team down the road and then going from there, but there's also another side of me that is kind of like, I enjoy just relaxing and doing my photos and not having to worry about that. We'll see. So I don't know yet, really, with what's going to come. I know that I want to grow in an aspect with photography and videography, but I know for a fact that I'm not going to be 60 years old climbing up a mountain chasing elk.
No. I mean,
you could.
If you are, but you're not going to be lugging, 30-pound of camera gear with you.
Yes.
If you're doing it, you want to do it because you're going after one.
Yes.
That was another question. How do you decide when, because if you like to hunt.
Yes.
How do you decide when to put the camera down and go, all right, I'm going to kill some shit?
So this year I actually kind of did that. Because I've been so focused on what outfitters are doing and the hunters, I kind of took a step back this year and worked with less outfitters, because I did want to take that time to be able to get my waterfowl species off my list this year, because my goal was before 30. So I have taken a step back and started doing more of my Spears production side with the weddings and the lifestyle instead, so then I can kind of pick the time frame that I want to go and travel this year. And I'm only working with a handful of outfitters, so I kind of have done that already, and I'm just taking a step back from this year, but we'll see as the years goes on, because I want to get more into big game, and when you do big game, you're already gone for 2-3 weeks at a time.
Yep.
So
you got to block off a lot of time for some of them big hunts, because I mean, they're hard.
Yes.
There's a lot of time invested, because especially if you're going to be selective about what you take.
Yes.
I mean, if you're just going to go out and like, I want elk meat in the freezer, I'm going to take a cow.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be a little easier than if you're out there going, I'm going what like how they measure it, 6x6, like that's one side and one side.
Yeah.
You want to get into something like that, you better have 2 weeks, and then there's still no guarantee.
Yes, exactly.
I mean,
so
that's rough stuff.
It is. So taking that time out to do that, I think would be a little bit easier for me to plan around taking other outfitters too in the next few years, because waterfowl, you kind of got to be everywhere at any point in time, and it's
because you're following a migration.
Yes.
And I told people in one of the shorter videos I put up, like, if you watch Rena's timeline, like her feed. You make people think time travel's possible, because I'll see you on, like, you'll be in Alaska, and then all of a sudden you're back in Michigan, and then down here in Texas or somewhere. I mean, like, you're all over the map, and it doesn't seem like it's physically possible to get to and from those places in the time that you do it.
No.
So, like, I'm exhausted watching it sometimes, and I feel like I travel a lot.
Yes, you do. Yeah, exactly. And you do travel a lot, but you probably, during that time of the year, you also have to chase what is open, and then also with coyotes, like, it's just a completely different ball game, because you either got to go south or you can come north, but you also want to make sure that you're within that time frame of how do you track the moon, the weather, all that type of stuff, or how do you...
I try and plan the trips based on moon phase when I'm going out west.
Mm-hmm.
When I talk to Tony, he knows when is best. So I ask him when he's available, and then I said, now when do you recommend? And he takes care of me. Yeah, he puts me in the right time frame. You don't want to go out there when you got a full moon for the whole time you're out there, because they're going to run at night. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to get them to run during the day. Mm-hmm. So, that part of the planning, but my biggest downfall is all these other trips, turkey hunting, deer hunting, all that. I'm always hauling my coyote gear with me, because
you never know.
I'm like, well, maybe if the deer thing don't work out, I'll at least get to shoot a coyote, because I would hunt coyotes from now till doomsday. If that's the only thing I could hunt for the rest of my life, I'd be fine.
I know that for a fact.
I really would. I don't care if I climb in a deer stand. I've just really, this past year, kind of reignited my love of bow hunting, but it's still nothing compared to going out day or night and calling in a coyote. I mean, the rush is the exact same, the last coyote I killed, as the very first one I killed.
I think it's still, I don't know, there's a different type of rush when it comes to predator hunting and whitetail and kind of
because it's not a suspense thing. Like, when coyotes show up, they're there. Mm-hmm. It's foot on the gas, it goes 0 to 100. normally if you're deer hunting or something, you're in a place where you hear some leaves, or you hear a limb break, or you see that little flicker of movement where the tail moves. You got something where there's a suspense build, and that's what's got your heart pounding.
Yes.
So it's a very different rush. I mean, two completely different outdoor drugs right there.
very true.
Very different. And I'm afraid of heights. So the more I can stay on the ground with my fat ass, the better off I am.
We're gonna put a little trampoline underneath your deer stand.
You'd laugh your ass off. You go out there and see my hang-on setups, and maybe 12 foot.
Oh really?
Yep, maybe 12 foot, and it works. Last year, me and Jimmy were in. I had a double hawk platform, like one facing this way and one about 90 degrees for filming, a little bit higher. But I had them both set to where either one could be a shooting stand. There were shooting lanes out of both of them. So we would both have a bow hanging. We'd have a camera arm set up for the guy in the higher stand. And the front edge of that higher filming platform was maybe 12 and a half feet.
Oh, wow.
And we had deer walk within 5 yards of us through the thick shit behind us. Never even look up. Never smelled us. Never saw we were there. I've heard guys say that there's they got a theory where there's like this dead zone because like of how a deer's anatomy is, and they're down eating, and then they look up, and they look back down. There's a middle ground where they look past, or they look below, and I don't know if there's any truth to it, but I'm gonna say there is, just so my big ass don't have to go above 12 foot off the ground.
I was gonna say, if they haven't seen you yet,
hey,
that might be true.
I'm working with what I got here. You know, that's as high as I want to get. But deer season coming up. Where are you going to be hunting this year?
I'm going to be in Michigan this year. So.
You're just deer hunting Michigan? You ain't got any trips on the calendar planned for anywhere else?
Well, for whitetail, I'll be in Michigan, and then South Dakota for... Well, actually, no, I'm not doing mule deer this year. I'm doing pronghorn. So, yes.
Oh, so you got like a 70-yard pin on your bow right now.
Oh, God, yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah,
I need to start practicing hardcore now and start working out because I have slacked so bad this year, but...
What are you pulling?
45.
Yeah, you're going to have to do a little work.
Yep.
You got to get that up at least 10 pounds.
Yeah, my goal is to get to 60, I'm hoping.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 60 yards. No, not 60 pounds.
Okay.
Not yet. I mean, I'm a little bit little for that right now. Gotta get some arms.
Damn, I'll find you CrossFit gym. We'll get you 60 pounds if you really want to be.
Oh God, I don't know if I can do that in 2 months, but we'll try. No, but yeah.
You have to be a bucked up ambassador and start taking them damn protein supplements and all that kind of shit.
I know, exactly. Get some steroids on me. Something.
Rena's next sponsor going to be human growth hormone.
I guess it will. God.
you and Sly Stallone will be just throwing up double bicep poses together.
Oh God, yeah, I'm ready for this. You ready?
That's one thing, and I don't want to sound judgmental here. You don't have like a fitness page or anything, right? Like
no.
Good. That's what I was kind of getting at. Is I'm so glad that you don't, because it seems like now that no female hunter can have a hunting page or an outdoor page without instantly having a fitness page.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's reasons behind that I just don't like. I don't like what goes on there. And without saying a whole lot to the judgmental side, you are a very class act when it comes to that, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that about you. That being said, you got to do something, right? There's got to be a fitness aspect because you don't just walk around like in shape.
I do a lot of cardio is my main thing. So I do lots of cardio, and then 2 days a week I will do weightlifting. But I had a medical issue earlier this year, so unfortunately I'm not in the shape that I usually am around this time of the year. But since I've been out of high school, I just kind of do the same routine, and it's always been pretty good to work out, especially for going out west. And
I was going to say, I mean, there has to be some fitness regimen just because of the job.
Yes.
I mean, you can't go out west and just wing it.
No, you can't. You can't just pick up a camera and just say, I'm going. You have to do the physical aspect of it and get yourself in shape.
Because you'll crash.
Oh, yeah. You will crash immediately. I mean, I've had it sometimes when I was going from Alaska to South Dakota to Missouri, and I'm just in my last strains of Missouri, and I'm like, I need to just go home and nap for a week because it takes a toll on you. It really does.
Yeah, I can't imagine because I mean, when I go to New Mexico for that week, I usually go coyote hunt out there for a full week, and if we get into the dunes and you're walking in sand up and down and stuff like that, trying to get in tight with these coyotes when you call them, some of that stuff will it'll kick your ass.
Oh yes.
I mean, and you don't feel it during the day.
No.
You get back to the hotel room and you take a shower and I know you don't drink and I'm in a different spot. We'll get back to the drinking part. But I'd come back to the room and I'd pour one little short glass on the rocks and I wouldn't even finish it. Like I'd take 2 or 3 sips out of it and make the mistake of laying my head back just a little bit and I was out. And I'm trying to explain that to my son because he's going with me this year. Mm-hmm. Like our trip in December is an out west one and it'll be a week. Mm-hmm. He's gonna be 13. I don't know if he's gonna be ready for the full 5 days.
I think he has that energy though.
Yeah,
he has the energy that we don't have anymore as much. So I think he'll be able to keep up, but he will definitely be feeling it by the end of the day, like probably on the second or third day. And
he's gonna sleep good.
Yeah,
he's gonna sleep good.
Very well.
And I've already told him that. I said, son, don't expect to come back and fire your game system up, and stay up all night because we're gonna get up at 4:00 in the morning or 4:30. Don't you start. You've been behaving. There we go. I just talk nice to it, I guess. It's like my old truck.
It says memory card full in this one.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, that's no good.
Good thing I looked at it.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. I'll pause that real quick.
Perfect. Break time. This is fun.
All right, I think this thing's going to behave again. Where were we before memory card filled up and my phone started growling?
Oh my God.
We were traveling,
talking about fitness.
New Mexico. The kids sleeping.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Your son going with you?
Yeah. 13 I figured was the year. And he's now got a couple of good coyote hunts at night under his belt. He was a little unsure because the first one he actually killed, he swore he didn't kill it. Because he shot, missed. I bark stopped it, shot, hit it, but it was spinning. It wasn't done.
Okay.
Coyotes are tough. Mm-hmm. And I told him to hit it again. He hit it again, dropped it where it stood. He didn't think that counted because I had shot it too.
I get that. Yes, so I do get that.
I'm like, okay, all right. I'm like, we'll go out and just keep going until you just stone one on your own. Mm-hmm. Well, we went back home then a couple weeks ago. The date's out on the fridge. I always have him sign the fridge. We went home. I call this coyote in. It's creek bottom. And this was like my honey hole for 2 years in a row. It's been kind of slow this year. I don't know what's going on. Something changed. But typical creek bottom coyote. This thing hooks around the end of the creek. There's like a 90 in it. Hooks around the tree line, comes right up the damn hill, and starts going sideways. And I asked him, I said, you ready? I barked, stop it. And it turned. When I barked, it turned and looked, and it was broadside. And when he pulled the trigger, it's just all 4 legs just folded. It went straight down. Oh. And I'm like, dude, that wasn't.
That wasn't me.
That wasn't me. Like, that was all you, man. So he's got his 1-shot kill on the fridge. And to make it even worse, now it's going to his head a little bit. When we got up to the coyote, he hit it right here.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, man, you wasn't trying to do that. And he goes, where I aimed.
Oh, yeah?
Uh-huh. Talking all kind of smack now.
Tell him to do it again, then you'll believe him.
Yeah. That's why. If he does it on his first one out in New Mexico, I think I'm going to have to believe him.
I think I would just start recording him completely at that point. I was like, all right, I'm behind the camera. You keep on getting these headshots.
I can't feed his ego that much right off the rip. I mean, by the time he's 20, I won't be able to do anything with him. You won't be able to tell him nothing.
Oh boy, yeah, we're gonna keep that on the DL then. And then when he's older, 30 years old, be like, yeah, you were badass when you were young. Just letting you know. Yeah,
I can't tell him that now. If I tell him that now, it's over. He's just gonna start hosting the show and take my job from me. But that's it. That's in the works. New Mexico's going to be a good one with him. If nothing else, the road trip's going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
Because I always split that one up. We'll stop somewhere in Missouri and stay for the night and go out and get something to eat, get a steak or some wings. That was the funny part of my wife's trip out there. We drove out there 700 miles from home, went to B-Dubs.
Oh no.
Because it was like right by the hotel, and I'm like, well, I guess we know what we're getting at least, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no. That's the experience. You gotta go try something new.
All the traveling's going to be different this year because as of about 2 months ago, I don't drink when I go out to eat anymore.
Oh, that's good.
That's the easy one. That was the easy one.
Okay.
Because I drink Woodford,
Mhm.
so a double Woodford's $12,
Oh yeah.
and I'll drink 4 of them
Uh-huh.
if I'm sitting there for a few hours bullshitting and having dinner. So my drink tab alone is more than the rest of the food.
Mhm. Yes.
So from a money saving point, that was the easy one. The harder one's been not drinking out here while I'm grilling. And the timing was horrible because these guys right here, I just partnered up with these guys over at Whiskey Grail, and this thing's amazing. I mean, I know you don't drink. Did you just never drink, or did you drink and then you stopped?
I drank and then I stopped.
Okay, well, bourbon out of a cup and bourbon or whiskey out of this, completely different.
Is that wood?
Yes, it's white oak, and they char the inside of it. Brings out every natural flavor in any bourbon you want to pour in it. I had just partnered up with these guys before I decided I was cutting way, way back.
Oh.
And so now when I do have a drink, obviously, I'm having it out of this, but I think I just looked at my calendar the other day. I'll put a slash on it if I have a drink or a couple, and I put a dot if I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Drank 7 times in the last 40 days. And this is all just like a social experiment for me.
Mm-hmm.
At first it was because I thought I was really like, man, I'm drinking way too damn much. And when I stopped, never got the shakes, never had a headache, nothing. I had zero, any kind of effect of, hey, you're drinking too much and now you quit and your body's detoxing.
Yeah,
Nothing.
Hmm.
So I think I kind of I played it up a little bit in my head that I was drinking too much.
Mm-hmm.
But I was still drinking more than I should have been. I mean, I grill 4 nights a week, minimum, if not all 5 nights. And every time I would out there, I'd at least have 2.
Okay.
Just sipping on them for that. But that's over 3-4 hours, 5
Yeah.
hours. But that, even with ice in it, that's 5 shots.
Okay.
So you're talking 10 shots of bourbon minimum.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about.
And
you'd feel...
that's fine.
Huh.
Well, I mean, I'm 240 pounds.
That does make sense, yeah. Plus you've been drinking it for...
Fuck you mean that makes sense?
No. You know what I meant by that.
I didn't mean to let an F-bomb slip there, but that one kind of that hurt a little bit. Hey, that makes sense.
If I do it...
Overgrown son bitch.
Oh my god.
She heard my belly rubbing against this bar. She's like, yep, that 240, that looked about right.
Jesus, no. Oh my god. I meant that makes sense, because if I were to do that and have 10 shots, I would be on the ground.
Well, yeah, you can sleep in a Sucrette's box.
Yes.
I mean, you...
I would be done for.
Yeah, I've been doing that a while too, so that was the other thing. I mean, I had never really been 100% since I was 19. I've been drinking. And I like to drink. I'm still going to drink. But it's poison. And everybody knows what it is.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what it is. We know why we feel the way we do when we drink, because it's killing your brain cells, dumbass. Feels great, though. But I wanted to see what the hell I could do. Okay, it's been 20-some years of all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's been weird.
Yeah, but I mean, it's good that you're not having withdrawals or any problems
Oh,
or
yeah,
issues from
nothing. And I think it was because I had dialed back a little bit going into that.
Okay.
So, I was down to 3 nights a week, and I would make sure at least one night a week I'd grill and just drink water. Just to make sure I could. Yeah, I'm like, I don't have to drink while I'm grilling. I want to, but I don't have to. And so now, I drank, when we went on our Alabama vacation, we went down to see Sadie play at Rock the Country down in Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a 4-day trip. And I had a few every night. And then 4th of July weekend, we went up to Michigan, went up to the lake. Drank while I was up there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't drink like I used to, though. When I do drink now, just after a month of, because there was a month that I didn't drink at all.
Okay.
And then now I've kind of phased it into where, okay, I'm not going to drink here, I'm not going to drink there. It's different. I don't tear through the mixed drink, or they're not mixed drinks, but I don't tear through them like I used to.
No, I think when you get to a certain point, you're like, I just don't need it as much anymore.
So what flipped the switch on you? What made you quit?
So
Because you just quit.
Yeah, I just quit cold turkey the day after my birthday. But the thing is prior to that, I was only drinking maybe once every month.
Yeah. So it never was really a big thing for you.
No, I mean, in your early 20s, you party, you drink all the time. But after 23, 22, I kind of just cut down and told myself, hey, like, get your shit together. I want to start a business. I want to get a house. I need to get everything together to be able to succeed in life. And I said, the drinking isn't really helping me. So after that, I kind of slowed down and was doing it once every month, like I said, once every 2 months. And then when I bought my house afterwards, I slowed down even more. And then after, God, what was it? I think it was 26. And then, yeah, the birthday of my 26th birthday. And I kind of just said, I am done with this completely because my hangovers, after just drinking for one little glass of Jack Daniels, I was out for 2 days.
I wish I got them.
Hangovers?
Yeah.
Oh, God. No, you don't.
I've had like maybe 3 that I can document. If I just think in my head, I've had maybe 3 hangovers in my life.
Mm.
And I'm talking, like, me and my buddies used to pregame to go to the bar. There'd be 4 of us. We'd buy a half gallon of bourbon, drink it, then go to the bar.
Oh, jeez.
That was our pregame.
Yeah.
Was 4 of us splitting a half gallon.
How old?
I was up here. So I was 19, 20, 21.
Okay. That makes sense, though.
No, I wasn't doing that shit in my 30s.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, yeah, no.
But no, I did hit a patch in my 30s, though. Like, when I was back in the old house before we moved up here, there was a stretch, and it was actually right towards the beginning of mountain launch. It was maybe first, second year. I got to the point I was drinking it by myself. I was drinking a half gallon about every 3 days.
Oh, yeah, that's quite a bit.
Yeah. Not my highest point in life.
We all go through it. We go through our highs and lows. It's all good.
Oh, it was rough, man. We'd go down there to the mountain to hunt, and it got to the point where I was sitting around the fire drinking a lot more than I was hunting.
Oh, geez, yeah.
And I went to schedule one weekend trip down there, and I was telling my dad, I was like, hey, I'm gonna head down to Bainbridge this weekend, and I was like, I'm gonna leave Friday afternoon when I get out of work. You want to just leave Saturday morning? He's like, I ain't going with you. What the hell? Why not? He said, you drink too damn much. So from that second, I took about 2 months off, didn't drink at all, and then when I did drink after that, I was way back. I cut way back because I mean that traveling didn't matter, show didn't matter, none of that mattered. My dad wasn't gonna go with me. You know, like, okay, my kids don't want to go down there because I'm drinking. My dad don't want to go down there now because I'm drinking. Maybe it's the drinking. And it's weird that I should have listened completely back then because same conversation came up with Jackson when I told him about this. I was like, hey man, I said, what if nobody likes me? Like, because, cut up and have fun, drinking. Goes, what if nobody likes me? He goes, Dad, has anybody ever looked at you and said, hey, I like you a lot because you drink? This is my 12-year-old kid, I'm like, wow, asshole. No, not really. He goes, I still like you, Mom still like you. I said, well, I guess that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
It turns out I'm still an asshole when I'm not drinking, so everybody that liked me before likes me now. All 6 of you.
I love you, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, all 6 of you still like me.
Oh my goodness. No, just cutting it out just helps me out a lot. And I said, and I went full time too. So after I would have the hangover for 2-3 days, I'm like, damn, I feel like a piece of shit. I just like.
Well, yeah, because you didn't just lose the night of drinking.
No, you lost. You lost 3 days.
Yeah, you lost 72 hours of productivity.
Mm-hmm. And after that, I said, I'm not letting that.
And this was at your 26th birthday?
Actually, 27th. Now that I remember, so it's been 2 years.
Did you get kicked in the head by a mule or something?
I got hit in the head with a metal baseball bat.
Did you? Because people your age don't think like that. Most.
No, yeah.
Most that I've met. I'm not saying they're bad people. They're at a different point in the timeline. Like, you're doing shit at 26 that most of us are figuring out mid-30s to early 40s. Is when you really start going, wow, I messed some shit up. And I lost a lot of time. And I should be farther than I am. You're figuring that stuff out now? It's 26, 27, that was either a massive head injury.
It was pretty massive, but I mean, I guess it kind of did shape me to be who I am today too. So, because everything happens for a reason. I mean, I got 3 concussions, but maybe it did change something in my head. I don't know, but.
Well, I mean, was this a life-threatening injury? Like this?
I had an auricle fracture up above my head, so I had damage all in here, and my skull was like dented and everything. So.
No shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, probably scared you pretty good.
I mean, I think I was 8, so I don't remember a lot from it, but I know I was in the hospital for.
Okay, so this was way back.
Yeah, this was way back.
Okay, so that was a reboot then. It just put you back to like.
Oh yeah, my mom said I was a little angel before, and then I turned into a little shithead. so
Sorry, Mom. I like this version. This one's funny. This version's funny.
She still loves me though. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, she said something happened, and I guess for some reason I got wired the way I am, but.
Maybe it just took that dumbass phase out that all of them go through early on.
I did that early.
You just did it early?
I just did it early.
Well, and then it just fast forwarded you.
It did.
That's what it did. It fast forwarded you.
It kind of just made me realize, I started drinking at, I'm not even going to say it, but not that early, but it was out of high school. And then by 20, I told myself, well, I want to run a business, and I want to get my shit together. You skipped
8 years. You got hit in the head at 8 years old.
Yeah.
And literally skipped 8 years and became an asshole teenager at 8.
Yeah,
that's why she was a pain in the ass. That's why she was a pain in the ass. She was an asshole teenager at 8 years old. And then at 20, she's like, okay, well, it's midlife now. I need to start a business. Because you skipped 8 years.
I skipped a lot of it. So yeah, probably 6. Yeah, 6. I still had fun though, but I just told myself I turned into a grandma real quick. All my buddies were just like, "Damn, come on, go out." I'm like, "Dude, no." They're like, "All right, grandma."
I got work to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and you know, this is where half of my sociopath shows. My morning, I just scroll through TikTok, and all my TikToks are motivational stuff. They're like Andy Frizzell and guys like that. And that's what nobody understands. When you try to do something like that, like, because that's what you've built at your age is unreal. Like that, people don't do that shit. People don't do that shit. And it's because it's hard and it sucks. Mm-hmm. And it's so much easier when everybody's like, "Oh, come on, go out." You're like, "Well, I can get to my shit tomorrow. I'll catch up." You ain't catching up shit.
Mm-mm. No, because the time, once it's wasted, you're done.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Like, there's no amount of money ever bought 1 second of time.
No, never.
None. It's gone, it's gone. And it's so much easier, especially in your 20s or teen years or whatever, to just go, yeah, that's cool. We'll go hang out for the weekend. Or I'll sit down, we'll get a pizza and just watch the game. Instead of sitting down in front of a computer and editing photos for 6 hours or 8 hours.
Yes.
Or going through video and trying to find that perfect shot that really, like, makes an outfitter look like
oh, yeah,
nobody is going to go anywhere else but this place because of that one shot. That don't happen in the 5 seconds in the shot. It happens in the 6 hours that you sit going through footage.
Yes. And on top of the time that it takes you to go out there, fly out there, do the work, come back home, edit the footage.
So why would you invest all that time and effort and then come home and let it sit there and go out and have a drink and waste 2 nights or 3 nights?
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's easier to rationalize it.
Yes.
And that's what 95% of people do. Mm-hmm. And that's why they looked at you like, yeah, whatever, Grandma.
Yep.
Or on the flip side of it, Pappy. That's where this whole thing came from. They just started calling me old and grumpy because I didn't want to go out anymore. You know, I was like, I got this trip I got to take this weekend. I'm going to film. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Well, you don't want to hang out? It's not that I don't want to.
Yeah.
Like,
it isn't that you want to, or you don't want to.
I mean, I miss my friends. There's friends that I've got from when I was 5, 6 years old that I get to see them maybe once every couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But they understand now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's not because they finally understood. It's because they see every day the posts. Mm-hmm. And they see that grind. And I'm sure your friends see it now, and they don't even ask anymore, do they?
No.
They're like, yeah, she got shit going on.
Yep, they understand it. If they're like, hey, like, we're going out on the boat, blah, blah, and I'm like, I can't. Like, I gotta do this, and I gotta get it done.
And there's no more name calling now.
No, not really. Yeah, that kind of just, it puts into perspective, and it sucks because, I mean, I took TV out of my life. I took hanging out with friends. I took my social aspect out of it for the time frame of the beginning of me starting.
This shithead drinks decaf.
I do. I drink decaf.
I just found that out. Like, I'm like, oh man, I'll get her a thing of coffee from Warrior River. You know, I was gonna get you a bag of coffee, and then you're like, oh, I drink decaf. I'm like, what the hell?
I drink decaf now.
I don't know if she's applying for sainthood or if she's gonna work at a monastery or what. But like, there's no caffeine, no TV. You got one of them little like sand gardens, or you like a Serenity girl where you rake the sand with.
No, I have TV now. I just kind of like through that grind, that 4 or 5 years, I kind of just put it out the door, and I'm like, I can't even waste time for this. Now that you're established, you have a little bit more freedom, which is nice, but it's still like, okay, you know what? I used to not do this. I maybe should go back to that just to get like more ahead.
Yeah.
So it's hard once you get back in that transition, and you're like, okay, I can watch a TV show, and it's like, no, I can't.
So when you go and make a decision about a trip or a job you're taking or something like that, you don't take much time to make a decision right now, do you?
No.
It's
usually right when I come home from a trip. I mean, during hunting season, it's a little bit harder because when you come home from a trip, you're going on another trip right away.
Yeah.
So you don't really have time to work on content, but throughout the summer, spring, you have a little bit more time. So right when you come home, it's quick. Get that stuff done because you'll have somebody else calling you and be like, hey, can you fly down this week? Can you fly down this week? Can you do this? Can you do that? And it's like usually last minute.
Yeah.
So for some of my stuff. But a lot of it now I try to coordinate within the year to 6 month time.
And I've been asking, off the podcast, I've been asking a lot of people that question. Is like, how long does it take you to make a decision? I mean, big one, little one, whatever, when it comes to what you're doing. And there's people that will make decisions in an hour. Mm-hmm. That I know people that would literally take 2 weeks to make that same decision.
You can't, because an opportunity is gone like this.
Yeah, well, or you've wasted that 2 weeks.
Yeah, and that too.
And if you do that 40 times, well, we got 40 hours invested in 40 decisions. Throw them 2 weeks on each decision. Yeah. Where's that put them? They're into next year. Mm-hmm. That's how you get ahead. And that's why I've been asking people that, because I heard it in one of my morning psychopath ritual videos that I listened to, and it made sense, but at the same time, I'm like, is that real? Like, is that, because I guess I never thought of it. Mm-hmm. And it's a real thing. Like, the people that they'll sit and overthink, and it's like,
you can't overthink it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
What's worse going to happen? You do it and you don't get the result you were expecting. Mm-hmm. At least not getting that result, you didn't waste 2 weeks.
Yes.
To not get that result. Mm-hmm. You used an hour, you did it, it didn't turn out how you thought, but now you know better for next time. Mm-hmm. You learned something.
Exactly.
And it took you 1 hour to decide it, not 2 weeks.
Yes.
So I just want to get your pick on that, because I'm taking notes from you on a lot of stuff. I mean, and that's a weird spot to be as the old guy. We're supposed to be giving advice, and I'm sitting here going, all right, Reggie's doing this shit. I'm going to try that. Zoom out farther because you're ugly. That's what I gotta do. You can do all these close-ups and shit where you wink at the camera and you dance around all goofy, and I'm like the chick from, like, what's that, League of Their Own, where she's waving from the outfield because she was real ugly.
Oh my God!
You remember that scene?
Yeah. You're just there now.
That's me on my content. I get way the hell over there. I'm like,
no, you're not. You're coming to the front. You're coming from me. You're such a. Oh my goodness.
I try and take notes from you on how to be on camera too, because I've never seen anybody in my entire life that is not on drugs or drinking that dances as much as you do. Well, and it doesn't have to be at a dancing event. Like a wedding, I'm like, okay, she's dancing because, well, nobody else is dancing, but she's dancing at a wedding. That's normal. But it'd be in a duck blind or a turkey hunt behind the truck. Like, well, Reggie dancing again.
Oh yeah, all the time. I don't know what it is. I don't know who gave me the dancing bug, because nobody else in my family dances the way that I do. And then on top of it, just like, it could be in complete silence, and I just don't care.
I've noticed.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, don't apologize. I'm like, I'm taking notes from it. Like I said, that's why I got to do this damn coffee yoga and shit out here so I can dance without throwing my hip out.
Exactly. Gotta stretch a little bit.
I'm too old for stretching. That's one of them. Like, I'm too old to run. That's why I gotta learn how to fight.
Oh jeez.
But you know.
Nope, you got it.
I've always known how to fight.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure you look like the kind that has always known how to fight. So I think you're in a good shape.
I didn't always know. My dad taught me.
There you go.
There's a picture, and he's gonna be so mad at me for telling this story because back then he thought it was a cool name, and I think part of him still thinks it's a cool name. He just doesn't want to tell me that he thinks it is because he's supposed to be calmed down at 82, you know. But
I hope they calm down by then.
No, he's not really. Everybody in all the factories that he worked in called him Gunslinger.
Okay.
Because if somebody mouthed off to him or said something, he'd drop him. Like, he'd just punch him in the mouth.
Oh, jeez.
Well, Dad had polio when he was a kid, so his right arm's about half the size of his left. His left is like a bear. He wears a size 15 ring.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like a cinder block on the end of a telephone pole. And he could throw it. But people would dick with him where he worked, you know, at first because it was harder for him. He had to figure out his own way to do a job. Mm-hmm. And he always did. You know, I mean, he always did. But people would talk shit. Dad would make him stop talking shit.
Real quick.
And they said, Dick, you can't draw on everybody that runs his mouth. And he said, want to bet? So they started calling him Gunslinger. And still to this day, if we run into anybody that knew him from back then, that's what they call him. They don't even call him by his name.
Oh my God.
They call him Gunslinger.
That's a reputation to have.
Well, I mean, it was East Dayton, you know, and my dad and his brother both fought a lot. Mm-hmm. A lot. And they were good at it. And that's why I said he's going to kill me for telling this story because, like, he doesn't like that part of things. Like, Dad don't fight anymore. And I think sorry, Dad. I think he would if he could. If he was allowed, he could get away with it. I think he'll might.
Hey, I think we still need it, though.
But he taught me how to box. You know, my mom would get so bent because we'd be out there, like, full on punching each other in the face in the living room, and I'd come in, I'd have a bloody nose or something. Yeah, she didn't like that. I was like 5.
I was like 5.
Yeah, there's pictures. I mean, we had boxing gloves on. I was like 5 years old.
Oh my God!
So I've known how to throw my hands for a while, and then I got up here at college and went through a short stint where I enjoyed it way too much. Mm-hmm. Like the fraternity I was in and the BG hockey team, we did not get along. Mm. So we got in a lot of fights together, not together, against each other. Yeah, it was a fun chapter, but not one I'd care to repeat. Mm.
I think we need that, though, in this day and age. We need some of it.
A little bit, yeah. The list of stuff I'm willing to fight for now is way shorter.
Yes, 100%. It's not like, okay, you push me, I'm going to beat the shit out of you.
I just leave. Like, I didn't really want to be at this bar anyway. I'll just go home. You know, I don't have to fight about that now. Yeah. But, I think there does need to be a little more of what has now been labeled toxic masculinity.
Yes.
It's not. It's not. Like, you need to be able to defend the things you care about.
I agree.
And part of that sometimes is controlled violence. Mm-hmm. It really is.
It is.
And I think that's been demonized to the point that I don't know how we fix it. I don't know how you gain that reputation of that being a positive thing back when you've got a whole society against it. You know, like they look at it as this horrible thing now if you even speak up in an aggressive manner of laying down a boundary of like, listen, you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to get busted in the mouth. Mm-hmm. Just that alone. I mean,
you can't even do that anymore. You can't say anything like that anymore.
No, I tell my kid when he goes to school, he's like, I get in trouble for everything I say. I said, well, son, here's your line. This is what you got to run through your head before you tell a joke or before you say anything to your friends at school. If it feels like the right thing to do as far as standing up for something, or if you think we would think it's funny at home, don't say it. That's what it's gotten to in the school system. Because you can't. Everybody's soft.
Yes.
He's got some friends that are nice guys. They really are. They're nice guys. They're exactly that. They're nice guys. And anytime he gets roughhousing or anything's dark humor, they'll run and tell him.
What?
Yeah. And they wonder why these kids don't have like real like face-to-face friends. They all stream with each other and stuff. They've got friends all over the country, but they don't have friends they hang out with anymore because you can't trust anybody. Oh, you can't. Like they'll go like he'll say dark stuff because that's how I've taught him. You have to cope with things. You can't just not talk about them.
Yes.
And if you go through something rough, man, you better friggin' be able to laugh at it. Because if you can't, it's going to eat you up. So he learned real early on to laugh at the stuff that hurt him in the past or that upset him or if it was hard, he learned to laugh at it, learned to make a joke about it. You can't do that shit at school.
Mm-mm.
You make a dark joke. This wasn't even a dark joke. The last time they called a cop.
What?
And the cop called me because they had a quiz in class and Jackson told his friend, he goes, man, he said, I'd rather jump off a bridge than take this quiz. Kid went down, filled out this little piece of paper, said, I need to talk to Officer Cooper. Jackson said he was going to jump off a bridge. No shit.
Oh my god, because everybody's taking things so much more literal now. Well, the fact is though, okay, so how old is your son?
12.
12?
Yeah.
When was that done?
This was this past school year. Yeah. He just got out of school like last month. So this was a couple months ago. I ended up in the office with principal, counselor, cop, me, and Jackson. And they were like, he can wait out there in the hall. I said, the hell he can. I said, he's a grown-ass man. He can sit in here with us. And I said, he needs to hear what you guys are going to say, and he needs to hear what I'm going to say.
It's pathetic that we kind of came to that point where people are so worried about that. But the thing is at the same time, there's these kids under 13 years old that are they're actually doing things to themselves that they shouldn't even know what that means at that age.
Yeah.
At this point. And, like, I've heard some things where they're young and they take their life. And
Yeah.
it's like, why is this happening? Why is all this happening now compared to what it did 20 years ago, 50 years ago? We didn't have any of that stuff.
We're overloaded on information, and it's not a good thing.
No, not at all.
Because they say that right now, and this was I forget where I got this stat. God, what was I watching? It might have been another podcast. They said the average level of anxiety of a 15-year-old right now is about equal to what asylum patients had in the 50s.
Shut up.
Yeah.
That shouldn't even be happening in general.
But think about what they've got feeding into them all day. It's a complete, nonstop overload of not only information, but propaganda, stress, the things that they didn't know. Yeah. Yeah, it's right in everybody's hand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just getting pumped into their brain.
Yeah.
Now, if you're old enough to regulate what goes into your brain, and you kind of pick the right stuff to watch. I mean, like I said, I cram an hour worth of positivity videos in my head every morning just to make sure I don't go on the wrong track for the day.
Yes, yeah.
These kids ain't doing that.
No, because they don't know how to. They don't know right from wrong.
Yeah, they're watching everything that pops up in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know what's true and what's not, what to worry about, what not to worry about. And most of them don't have parents that step in and sit them down and talk to them about it.
No,
or,
they don't.
Or tell them. They go, is your iPad fully charged? Because we're going to go on a road trip. Sit back here and stare at that.
Yeah. Before we would play ABC game. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, you would just go look at the billboards and whoever got to A to Z as fast as they can would win the game. Like, that type of stuff. Make your brain stimulated.
See, and that's funny because us being 20 years apart,
yeah,
that's what we did too. You know what I mean? There's stuff like that. And so, see, parents raised you right.
Oh, yeah.
It's good stuff.
Well, you had to, because we didn't have phone technology. You had to keep yourself busy. You had to do your stuff, like, keep your brain active.
You are right on the cusp of where that was really hitting the scene, like...
Mm-hmm. Well, we had the flip phones early, like 15 before then, probably 12 to 15, we had the flip phones. But that was it.
I had a neon blue pager when I got to college.
Okay. Okay. We going back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neon blue flashing pager when I got to college.
Yeah.
In 1997.
Yep. And then back then, we didn't care. Like, if we forgot it at the house or, like, accidentally threw it out the window or something like that, we're like, all right, it's good. But now it's, like, the end of the world.
It changed people's dynamic of, like, what their definition of friendship was. Because you knew you didn't have access to people all the time.
No.
And
you
now,
go knock on the door.
people will get pissed at you if they don't have your, like, instant response and access to you 24 hours a day because they know that your phone's there.
Yep.
Like,
the reason why...
Just because it's here
yeah,
doesn't mean that...
I'm looking at it. I don't want to.
Even if I am.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm working on something else.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get access to me 24 hours just because I'm right here and that message is 100%. Right there. But back when you were friends, when you were kids, they knew, he's going home, he's got stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
And after he eats dinner, we can ride our bikes.
Yes.
Like, we'll be out later.
Yep.
And they didn't bother you. They weren't pissed at you like, you didn't wave out the window every 5 minutes.
No.
That shit don't make no sense. I mean, what's different now? Just because I can see that you messaged me or waved at me or did something like that, I'm supposed to respond instantly? No.
Oh, it's nuts. It's like, even nowadays with adults, and you're working, and just the consistent texting that they have coming at you, and it's like, you understand that we still have to work, we still have to live a life, we still need our time to bond with our significant others or our family, and I don't look at my phone and my text messages all the time. I work on my phone, unfortunately, a lot of it.
Yeah.
But
and
it makes
85, 90% of it.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And it's like, I don't want to be looking at my phone consistently, and I like phone calls way more. But it's like, they need that instant, hey, 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 hey. And it's like, okay, you need to take a breather. I can't come all the time. Like, if I get back to you in a month, if I get back to you in 2 weeks, like, I apologize. But it's like, you have to decompress away from it and get back to people when you can. And I understand, like...
That's part of why we've always gotten along, because it doesn't matter if it takes 2 weeks. Like, I'll send you a text, and like, literally, my phone will vibrate 2 weeks later. Oh, hey, it's Reggie. And I mean,
yeah, exactly.
She was probably in Zimbabwe or some shit, and like, just got back, and... Yeah.
But the thing is like, you're so busy and sometimes you forget, and it's like, okay, well, give me a phone call. Like, I like a phone call because it's a lot easier to be able to get everything through.
Oh, yeah, you can cover 10 times the amount of topic in the same amount of time as you text.
Texting.
It's,
yeah, unless you got plans with each other, or you got to go on a trip together and all that type of stuff. Like, okay, yeah, we got to coordinate this, get this done quick.
I will say I am bad about answering the phone, though, a lot of times. I really am. Because I'll be working on something else, and I'll see a phone call, I'm like, I don't have time right now. I don't have time to answer that right now.
No,
because I'm working on other shit.
And you don't want to be like answering the phone and being in a stressed out mood.
Yeah.
And rushed. Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, I'll get to you. I can get to you when I can get to you. And people don't understand. It's like a client's, sometimes friends. I don't have a lot of friends that do that to me because I just, I can't do that. Like, they understand it. But
the times I feel bad about it is if I'm really not doing anything other than tending to the ribs and maybe sipping on a drink and talking to my wife, and the phone rings, I'm like, nah.
Yeah, you're having your own time to yourself.
Yeah,
it's me time.
I've really had to talk that into my own head. It's like, dude, you gotta have an off switch, man.
You do.
Like, because if not, you're feeling guilty about that shit that you're not doing when you're working, and you're not putting everything into it.
No, and you're here for everybody else at that point, and you're not putting any of that energy into yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the worst thing you can do.
Well, I mean, this stuff that we're doing, I mean, I don't know what in the back of your brain drives you to do what you're doing. I know what drives me for mine, and it took a long time to even get myself on that list. Because at first it wasn't at all. I mean, at first it was like, I used the fuel I had, and that was some bitter shit. And I used it for as long as I needed to get a better fuel.
Yeah.
But at first, it was a damn chip on my shoulder because people were nice to me in high school because I was good at football.
Okay.
But I was a redneck, dude. I mean, I wore jeans and hunting boots to school, and I didn't fit in at my school. My school looked like a walking Abercrombie and Fitch ad. You know, I mean, it was extremely Caucasian, and there was a lot of money. And I didn't fit into any of that. We were broke, you know. We didn't have a lot of money. I mean, well, we weren't broke, but we didn't fit in there. So getting out of there, that's how I felt all through college. That's how I felt my whole life, was the whole crew around me was better than me. So I was doing this stuff to prove like I can do something. I'm not just, you know, some damn trash truck driver, carpenter. You know, you self-talk's a mean thing, man.
It does.
Because your brain knows everything you're afraid of. Everything. Everything, like just being worthless. Like, you know, you're afraid of being worthless. Your brain's going to tell you are. It sure as hell is. And that was the beginning of it. Then after that, it was family, and, you know, I wanted my parents to have something to be proud of before they got sold, that they couldn't go on trips with me or anything like that. And then here recently, it's been, I got to do a little bit of this for me.
Oh, 100%.
Like, I want to see what I'm capable of. And that's where, you know, that's why I said it's been a weird 5 or 6 months. It's when the drinking thing kind of came in, and I'm like, all right, let's level up a little bit. And I started going to the gym.
Heck yeah.
And that was just to lose weight at first. And then my ego got in the way. And I'm like, man, you ain't that old that you just need to lose weight and get training. So let's start throwing some heavy shit around again.
Oh, geez.
So I started grabbing weights again, and now, like, I went to a Clint Black concert in January, and I was down to like 214, and was wearing 34-inch waist jeans again, like I wore in high school.
Yeah, yeah.
And now I'm 240, and I'm still wearing those jeans.
Heck yeah!
Because I just started grabbing heavy shit and moving it again. And all the, you know, all these muscle heads I listen to on these motivational videos are all big. They're like, dude, do hard shit, lift heavy weights, stay in shape, stay strong, and be dangerous.
You're gonna be healthier that way, 100%.
Yeah. Well,
Just ease into it.
I don't have to do as much cardio because the more muscle you build, the more fat you're burning. You know, muscle's burning more calories than fat. Fat doesn't really burn calories.
Yeah.
It just kind of sits there. And so yeah, the more when I went back in there, it was embarrassing. Like, I didn't realize how much I'd lost in my upper body. Because at high school, we started a powerlifting team. Like, we didn't have one. We just, like, 5 of us were like, we're just gonna go be meatheads and compete and lift heavy shit. And that's what we did. We just set records and lifted heavy shit. And I was like 185 pounds, and I was benching 350 and squatting 700, and I lost almost all. Like,
really?
Well, I mean, that's 18 to 45, you know?
Yeah.
So I go back in the gym, and I'm like, I want to see what I can do. And I grabbed these, like, I think it was like 35, 40-pound dumbbells and doing dumbbell press, and did 3 sets of 10 with 40s, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm a 14-year-old girl.
Oh, shit.
Like, I was so damn weak. It was ridiculous.
But the thing is, that's going to happen with anybody, though, that starts from scratch.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely.
You can't ever get down on yourself with that. And I know
up
that
here,
in the head, yeah.
Up here, you're still like,
Like, I can do it. I can do it.
2 months out of being back 350. I'll be like benching 350 in 2 months. No.
No, it takes a toll on you getting back into it, and your mind is just like, oh my God, like, I gotta start over again, blah, blah, blah. Yep. But it's like, at the same time, don't get discouraged about it, because down the road, like, you're gonna work towards it. You're gonna work towards getting right back to it.
It's just like the show. It's a grind.
Exactly, it is a grind.
Get in there as many days as you can. If you miss a day, sure, call yourself a bitch for a minute. I mean, that's about as David Goggins as I get. Call yourself a bitch if you miss a day, because that's a bitch move. But don't sit and dwell on that. Well, weak shot, because then you go miss 3 more days.
No, absolutely not. You can't do that.
Just go back tomorrow.
No, it's the same thing. Like,
hell, I don't even wait till tomorrow anymore. The other morning I got up and it was doing this raining crap, and I was like, justified my way out of driving to Planet Fitness, you know, because that's the closest gym to me. It's really cheap. By 4 o'clock, I had guilted myself into coming down here in the garage with 25-pound dumbbells and did something.
Yes.
I did like an hour, did something, because it was that inner bitch voice. I was just like, man, you was just going to sit there all day and not. So now, shit, I'm closing with 80s now instead of them 35s I was starting with, but still, hell and gone for bench at 350, but I don't think I need to do that shit anymore.
It's not, if you, like, my buddies still do it even from high school, and they're in their 30s now, and I'm just like, is there really a necessary need to do that? Because one of my buddies just ruined his back a couple months ago, and it's like, we don't need to be doing that. We're not into heavy lifting. You'll never see me put 700 pounds on a squat rack again. Yeah. I don't even do squats anymore. Oh, okay.
I don't. My right knee, no way. I mean, I'd have to wear a brace to do them, and my back sometimes, but I was quite a bit fatter. My back would get a little tricky. But there's no reason for me to do squats anymore or deadlift. Yeah. Now, the one I do that I probably shouldn't, leg extensions, that puts a lot of stress on my knee, but I like having big quads. So. Hey. You
gotta like something. Like, chicks like their butts, you like their quads. Hey.
I like doing leg extensions, and I can do leg press where I'm laying down, and, you know, I can still move a lot of weight on that damn thing. But my joints are just, I told my dad this morning, I'm like, I gotta have my right shoulder cleaned up at some point. It's gonna have to happen in the next 5 years, for sure. Because anything above chest level, as soon as I get up to here, I'm doing any of that or doing lat pull downs, shoulders clicking every time. Ooh. Every single time. And I mean, it's not that one where it hits a nerve and my fingers start twitching, but it's clicking.
But it's clicking. And you don't want anything else to happen.
Yeah.
That,
so I got to get that cleaned up, but that's one of them things that, you know, is directly related to that number on my damn driver's license called my birthday. Old, fat, and things click when you move.
Oh my God, you're not even old or fat.
Older.
No. Oh boy.
And fat's questionable. It's all perspective. It's all perspective. That's water, by the way, in case any of you think I'm sitting here being a hypocrite. Promise, it's water. I try and hydrate these days because that's, oh my God. I didn't realize that you're supposed to drink water.
Like a gallon a day?
Yeah.
More than that?
I thought there was water in Diet Coke. Like, I drank 10 or 12 of those every day for a while. I haven't had a pop since last February.
That is awesome.
Last February.
That is awesome.
Well, all of you that I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. All of you that let me go on that Gator trip and watch that first Gator episode and let me come home and didn't say anything, you're not my friends. It looked like a manatee hunting a gator. I was in that boat, and I'm not shitting you. It was like spilling over the edges of this little John boat. I was so friggin' fat. Like, nobody said, stop drinking 30-ounce Dr. Peppers or put down the big Reese cup. Nobody said nothing. And I watched the footage when I got back, and it was just like, you son of bitches. Like, you guys let me walk around looking like that.
Oh,
my
no.
God.
I don't remember you being big.
I looked like a bacon-wrapped acoustic guitar. It was the worst. I mean, pears of shape, but I was not in shape. Like, it was horrible. When you draw a bow back, it's not supposed to make a noise like, hey, hey, hey. That was not, that's not how a damn bow is supposed to sound right before you shoot a gator. And so I stopped drinking pop. I was like, okay, that'll fix a lot. Mm-hmm. And it did. I mean, that helped me drop a lot of weight. I stopped drinking pop and I stopped snacking. I don't do, okay. I eat a Reese cup every now and again. Every now and again. But, yeah, the weight was a thing, man.
Oh, no, I don't remember ever seeing you big or anything. Like, I feel like you look this way, like, you can tell you've been working out.
No, I was going to say, don't say that.
No. I mean, you look like you've just been working out, though. You know what I mean? Like, you've always looked small to me.
Well.
I mean, not small.
Now you sound like my wife.
Oh, my God.
That wasn't a PG-13 joke, so put the kids to bed before you let them listen to that part of the podcast.
Help me, Lord.
We got to do something about this thing growling, but it is what it is for this trip around the sun here.
It's all good.
I think we should go grill something and let people get back to their regularly scheduled programming. Reggie, it's a pleasure.
Pleasure, as always.
And we're going to keep rocking, kid.
Thanks.
I love you.
Love you too.